Happy Friday, gentlemen.
Fridays in December, man, they hit different.
They do. Ryan Root, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Where are you at geographically there, Mr.?
New York. I live
New
in
York.
New York.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was in Hoboken for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I lived on, oh my gosh, I have to remember now. Like right next to Weehawken. It was like West New York, but right on.
Yeah, West New York. Yeah.
Right on Edgewater.
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 Yeah, all of them. My kid was born. My first kid was born over there, and it was during the blackout in New York City. So it was 100 million degrees outside. The air conditioner, the power's all off, and I went outside to grab a phone call, and all of New York City is just pitch black.
Oh,
and it's 10,000 degrees outside.
God, I think I moved before that. I don't remember when I moved.
But it was like right there on River Road, right? Like looking over all of that, right? So,
yeah. How long ago did you live there in Hoboken?
I lived there from 99 to 2010. So
I was definitely out by 06.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it took on another life of its own. Like,
totally. Yeah.
By 2015, it's just beautiful. I mean,
it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
I mean, I still have an apartment up that way, up in Hoboken. So, like, I mean, I plan on. We threaten to go back there at some point.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. You know, although I don't know what it's like to be a 60-year-old roaming the streets of Hoboken, because the last time I was doing that, let's just say the topography was a little different in my mind anyway. Like, that was more like, oh, I wonder what's happening on Washington Street at 2 a.m. because that's where I'm at right now, walking home. I don't think there's many of those days left in me, to be honest. I'm not sure.
They used to tell me that whole like West New York, like that they've rebuilt now, and there's beautiful apartment complexes there.
Oh yeah, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, that was the same as Long Island City, though. You know, they really poured a ton of money in all that.
Yeah, they said that it used to be like trash would just wash up, and it was all like factory.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They said that, and people were saying that they used to go down there and race, like they would.
Oh yeah,
I can believe that too.
It was just like just dilapidated, the whole area. It's so beautiful now. I can't believe it used to be that way.
And now what's crazy, I think they finally connected the whole thing, but you could actually run from the George Washington Bridge all the way to Liberty State Park.
Yep. Yeah.
On a trail, like on a paved trail, like which is wild to me because I used to ride my bike through there. I'm a triathlon guy, and I used to go up and down and ride through there, and like getting around, it was about a 5-mile loop around Liberty State Park, but to get there from Hoboken was kind of dicey. You had to like go through shitty neighborhoods. You had to go over like unpaved streets or streets that haven't been paved in 30 years. It was kind of brutal. And now it's like, and then once they connected Weehawken, West New York, all that to Hoboken, which then connected to Jersey City on the other side, now you could literally go, do a loop around Liberty State Park, go all the way up to the GW. Yeah. You could basically do a half marathon training.
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Cool, man. Well, welcome again. Thanks for coming by, man. Always good to meet somebody who knows any of the words that I just said. It's kind of people. We interview people from all over the world, so it's not super often we get somebody from that.
Same coast, even.
Yeah. And Tom's from New York, so I like to make fun of him about that.
Yeah, but I grew up on the island. I think that's a whole different animal.
Oh, Long Island.
Yeah.
Once you got to take a train, like.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I used to bartend at a comedy club, and there was one of the local comedians always used to just do jokes about trying to get city girls to the island, and no, I'm not taking a train.
Yeah. That's funny. So Ryan, you got an interesting story, dude. I'd love to start unpacking this just by finding out a little bit about
this is the one question, Ryan. How'd you get here?
This is the one question, man.
Okay. Yeah. So to tell that, I have to kind of start from the beginning. So
do it.
It started off like, I now know I had low testosterone my whole life, right? Because as I became really, really good at understanding hormones, I had all the symptoms. So at 13, I got picked on for being skinny, and right there, like I was just skinny, just skin, just a twig.
Which, by the way, anybody looking at you now, it's like
yeah,
we
can tell on a camera screen that you're pretty damn broad.
Yeah, right.
You know, you're not a small dude.
The last word I would ever use to describe you right now is skinny.
Well, and some of it stems from this, right? Is like I got picked on for being skinny. And so I said, well, I'm not going to deal with that. So I just started hitting the gym, and I never looked back. However, I matured at half the rate of my peers. Like I put in twice the effort in the gym. I worked hard, put in twice the effort, and got half the results. Any one of my peers could work out for just a few months and lift more weight and look better than me. So, you know, consequently, and not just because of that, but I was also tired. I was always fatigued, right? So I was depressed. I didn't have any confidence. I wasn't very ambitious. I had to nap every day, and I got called a lazy piece of. Can I swear in here?
Yeah, we have no rules, man.
Fuck yet? I'm sorry,
I feel like we were saying fuck when we were talking about New York.
Yeah.
I got called a lazy piece of shit by adults. Adults would even call me that.
Oh, Jesus.
So I just
thought, douchebags were you hanging out with? Jesus Christ.
I just thought that this is just life. I guess I can't really do this life thing very well. And so like, and again, I wasn't maturing the same. Like I didn't grow any facial hair until I started taking testosterone. So in my early 20s, I knew something was wrong. Like not because I didn't know that I could feel better. I just knew that I wasn't the same as my peers. Right. So I asked my doctors about testosterone. I was like, we got to look at something, and they wouldn't help me. They were like, "There's no way somebody in their 20s can have low testosterone. We're not even going to check it." So they wouldn't even look. So I had to take my health into my own hands, and I started taking testosterone that I got from the black market at 23 years old. And
did you ever get tested, Ryan? At that point?
They wouldn't test me. They wouldn't even test you? They wouldn't even test me. This is the demonization and stigmatization that has occurred, you know, especially 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Over 20 years ago when I was in my early 20s, it was worse than it is now. But it was an evil drug at that point. Right? And it's still to some extent
probably relegated to the annals of like,
well, I mean, but that's hustles
and you know what I mean?
You heard more about testosterone in gyms than you did about creatine in those days, right?
Yeah, right. And it was it bred this black market, right? Because the medical community wouldn't handle it. Like, right. So the medical community, especially at the time and even now, right, the medical community, the government has utterly failed to adequately address hormone deficiency. Like they just don't even realize how important it is. It's a foundational, fundamental hormone, right? And everybody needs it, and everybody's levels are dropping. Like we have plenty of data showing that men of the 1970s had twice the amount of testosterone that men today do.
Is that true?
I've heard it for a while, you know, and it, you know, it's not one single cause. There's probably a bunch.
Right. And sedentary lifestyles, but mostly environmental toxins, right? It's in the there's endocrine disruptors in the pesticides and the microplastics, BPAs, fungicides. It's in the food you eat, the water you drink,
and you can't get away from it. You can't get away from it.
Or even endocrine disruptors. If you touch a receipt, like you can't get away from it. It's all over the environment, and consequently, and you know the strange part is like we acknowledge that hormone deficiency can be solved by giving people those hormones. Diabetes, insulin is a hormone.
Yeah.
Right?
We literally just had that conversation 2 episodes ago. It's funny.
If you have diabetes, you get insulin. If your thyroid is low, you have hypothyroidism. They give you thyroid. Why, if your testosterone is low, why wouldn't we give you testosterone? It just doesn't make any sense. It's just demonized. It's all stigma. It's all demonization.
Just real quick, do you have any kind of like thoughts on why that happened in the first place? Like why that one?
I do.
Yeah.
So, and because I have broken all this down, and just like you, Tom, just like you said, it's not. If it was just one reason, we could solve that reason.
And even if it wasn't done at a national level, right, Ryan? You could just step away. Like I'm just not touching receipts. If it was that easy, like no, just you keep the receipt, man. I got it.
Right. And the stigmatization and dogma is not from one reason as well as the the cure, the reason why our testosterone levels are dropping.
Yeah.
But it's several different things coalescing to create this massive stigma and this massive problem, right? So now in the 60s, there was a lot of research done on testosterone, a lot of positive beneficial research that showed massive benefits, which is why they started creating all the derivatives. You guys have probably heard of the derivatives, DECA, right? Winstrol, Anavar, like all of these are the derivatives. Well, testosterone was showing to be so beneficial that they were messing with the compound and creating all these other really beneficial things. Right?
Yeah.
And they're all beneficial. They really are. So then in about the 80s, right, there's several things happen all at once. The cheating in the Olympics. Remember Ben Johnson?
Yep.
He won the marathon or sprints, right, for the Canada, and then he tested positive for Stanislaw. So then Stanislaw, which is a derivative of testosterone, got all this negative press for cheating, right? And everybody was up in arms about athletes cheating, right? And then the baseball happened with Barry Bonds.
All of them.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds.
Everybody, Barry Bonds, all of them.
I was in San Francisco when it was like Battle of the Bay, and it was the 40-40 club, Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco.
Do you know how many people were watching baseball excited at that time?
All of them.
Watching everybody. Those two monsters just knock one out of the park in this race. Like
made the damn sport interesting again.
Jose Canseco's forearms were the size of my quads. Yeah, like the guy is fucking massive.
Honestly, baseball was better with steroids.
Look, man, I would argue every sport is probably better with steroids.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
Who wants to see like a bunch of like natural guys out there doing something I could almost do? I want to see these people doing superhuman stuff.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, 100%. You're not wrong. Well, Lance Armstrong had a funny interview about that. He's like, we were all like, you can take my shit away, but it's ridiculous because literally the entire field was taking the exact same thing.
Everyone's finding a way to get around it. And by the way, Lance Armstrong, he does that scene in Dodgeball. You guys remember that? Like at the airport bar. I'm like, this makes the whole fucking movie. It just throws the whole movie into this. I can't believe the story.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is all garbage now. I can't have Lance Armstrong lying about performance enhancing drugs.
Oh man.
And have this scene make sense.
Yeah.
Patrick O'Houlihan, giant shamrock lands on him in the casino. I'm there for it. But Lance Armstrong lying about drug use.
That's hilarious.
Anyway.
That was great. That was a great movie. So I mean, it depends on how deep it was. So at this time, right, and then couple all of this with the war on drugs, right? So now the political campaign at that time is the war on drugs. Right? It's a typical election tactic, right? Like make the people afraid of something and offer a solution to it. So if you guys remember at that time, George Bush came on camera and held up a bag of cocaine. He's like, this stuff is ruining America. Like, we're going to solve this problem. And what they did to solve that problem, they're making everything really illegal, and they're just controlling everything that looked like a drug. So testosterone got lumped in with the rest. They made it a controlled substance in the 1990 Steroid Control Act. And that's what made it illegal. Now that it's a controlled substance, it's hard to research and hard to
it's the same thing that happened with marijuana, LSD. You can name all these drugs it
follows a very similar path to marijuana, right? Marijuana in the 1950s, there was something called reefer madness, where they actually
great movie, by the way.
Great movie, yeah.
They actually taught you that marijuana was dangerous. It would kill you, and if you smoked it, you would go crazy. That was the education. Right?
You put your baby in the oven.
Yeah.
That was it. You jump out a window.
That went back further than the 50s, though. That reefer madness was in the 30s. So
it was.
I mean,
was.
Like, so we were beating that drum like for a while now. You know what I mean? Like
from the 30s for like 80 years, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
In 2008 is when Colorado finally legalized marijuana, right? That's what the first inkling.
That's how long, yeah.
That's how long it took to reduce that stigma. It took 80 years for people to go, you know what, marijuana isn't that dangerous. In fact, it does have some medical benefits. So let's just knock it off.
Yeah, and if you go back to the late 1800s, cocaine is used in a pharmacy.
Look, man, my grandfather was a pharmacist. He collects old jars, right? And when he passed away, we had this big safe. He opens the safe. There's a jar of cocaine from Merck. And like, you know, my dad and I are looking at it. I'm like, there's still fucking powder in the bottom of this. Like, I don't know. Does it go bad?
Yeah, you're like.
My dad has it in his safe still, and I'm like, why didn't I get that? He's like, you got the menthol. I gave you the menthol jar, and I'm like, the menthol doesn't do anything.
I don't want the menthol jar. I want the cocaine jar, for God's sakes.
Cocaine was legal in like the 20s. Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, it was added to everything. I mean, the Coca-Cola had cocoa leaf extract in it and cola nut, which is pure caffeine.
There's this funny show on TV right now called Ghost. It's a remake of a British comedy. I don't know if you've seen it. It's fucking hilarious. The ghost Hetty from the Victorian area, she's always like, and I loved my cocaine.
Yeah.
And it's like, I crack up every time it says it, because I'm like sitting there going, yeah, man, like when she was alive, like people were like, yeah, cocaine's amazing. I'm like, I'm wide awake and everything's great.
You know, this is going to sound crazy. One of my favorite punk bands is NoFX. Fat Mike, the lead singer, wrote an opera or a musical called Home Street Home, and it's basically Rent but for, like, you know, punk people. And he's got one song called Higher Achievers, and the whole song is about everybody that did something great on cocaine. Or any drug for that matter. I mean, like, right? The one thing, you know, one of the actors says, you mean drugs are going to make me smarter? And they all go, no, but it might make you more interesting. And then they're talking about LSD. They're talking about steroids. They're talking about, you know, Ayn Rand and amphetamines. Oh, it's such a great tune. He did go through some really heavy rehab, though. Fat Mike is, I don't know if he's clean, but he's at least maybe a little bit more California sober than he was.
So I want to hear the end of the story, though.
Sorry, man.
No. Listen, I'm just dialing this back, man. I'm gonna be I'll be the guy who brings
You'll be
back.
the guardrail now.
I'll be the guardrail. You know, I just want to hear. So we're up to the war on drugs. It's illegal now.
Yeah. So you know, and at this time, all this stuff kind of coalesced, and it created this demonization. So now, and like now we can. Listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I really am not. But when you lay out the facts about the drug companies, how they're actually Congress, they control Congress, they control the FDA. They're extensions of Congress. They donate to the congressional campaigns of all the people being elected. The FDA is all of the heads of the FDA, all the last 8 heads of the FDA now have cushy positions at the administrative positions at the drug companies.
Sure.
It is known that if you play ball with the FDA, they'll give you a lifelong cushy job. Right. So it's just like all of these things come together. Testosterone is not very lucrative. It can't be patented. It's a natural hormone. So they don't make a lot of money off of it. Right. So, drug companies also fund medical schools. They fund continuing education, so they have a say. Although they have a say in the curriculum, although I don't want to say that they have a full say, but like, you know, they just and so we also know that there's a fundamental foundational problem with the education of providers regarding hormones. They do not learn about it in medical school. It is not in their curriculum. So consequently, ignorance plus this demonization that started to occur just bred this dogma and stigma that testosterone is dangerous. We don't use it. And then every study from like 1988 to about 2017 was just biased and incredibly disastrous for all hormones. The Women's Health Initiative of 2002 systematically reduced worldwide women's HRT by 50% immediately. And then in the aggregate, because new women coming into menopause weren't being given HRT, the reduction was more like 90% over the next 20 years.
Ryan, that was, I think that was you know, I think with that one, and I agree with you, everything you said about the FDA and all those things, they were looking at Primpro and Premarin. And I've done a lot, I have a lot of patients, female patients. Primpro is a full synthetic, right? So it's not estrogen at all. And then Premarin comes from pregnant mare urine. So it's like taking a key that fits in the lock and just jamming the fucking thing until it opens, right? So you got higher incidences of cancer with those, right? That research was valid, but the blanket statement on all of that just destroyed women's health. Which was already behind. Like if you weren't a white man, your health was not taken care of the same way.
And Peter Atita and Marty McCary say that was one of the worst things that has ever happened in the medical community was that study, right? Because not too long after, just a few years after, it was widely discredited, and the original authors retracted their statements. But that wasn't promulgated. Only the
the apology or the backing it up is never said as loud. As the initial argument. It doesn't get as much clicks. Well, it wasn't clicks back then, but it didn't get as much airplay.
Right. Exactly. So consequently, up until now, like the FDA just removed the black box warning from women's HRT, right? So now there was never an indication that it actually increased the risk of cancer. There's never been a study that proved that. And so now the black or blood clots as well. So now the black box warning has been removed, and but there's still the indoctrination of all the providers, and they still are not comfortable with it because they never learned it, right? So it's going to take a lot longer for people to start being actually comfortable with it.
Well, and I think you get that even in men's health too. You see all these like clickbait ads of the 70-year-old dude with like a 12-pack, he's
the AI guy. I just do Tai Chi. Sure you do.
Tai Chi, fuck it,
man, I've been doing Tai Chi for 20 years. Why do I look like this?
Right.
Or the Marlboro man, you just smoke and you look like that.
Yeah, you just smoke and you got this sexy ass voice and you're fucking all cut up and it's awesome. But I mean, you see that everywhere, and it's like, I think that's kind of one of the things that when Tom and I first started this show, like one of the things that got us interested is like, how do you start having a conversation about what parts of this are bullshit and what parts are not?
So consequently, the medical community is just ignorant, and ignorance breeds fear, right? They think no, this stuff is dangerous, right? And so they just won't use it. They don't look at it. They don't understand what a fundamental foundational hormone that testosterone, estrogen, progesterone actually are. You got to think of it this way: like there's every living organism has the one thing we all have in common for living organisms is testosterone, estrogen. Those are fundamental. Plants, male and female plants, have testosterone and estrogen, right? So it's like it's survived throughout all of evolution. It's foundational, right? It's very important, and it's just not, they're not educated, right? So to move on. So now I go into I take my health in my own hands. I get testosterone. Right? I start taking it at 23. It dramatically improved my quality of life to the point where I live two different lives, two completely different worlds. Right? The first thing that happened is kind of what you see right now. I put on 32 pounds of muscle and 100 pounds on my bench press in 5 weeks.
Like, wow, that's insanity.
That's insanity, bro.
I turned into a different person. Right? Now, I don't want people to think that, it's just about building muscle, because that's part of the stigma, right? Now, there's a couple things here. Not only did it build my muscle and make me look like my work ethic in the gym, because I really did double sessions and at least 2 hours a day, if not 4. And I really was working hard, and I was hardly having the results. As soon as I took this, it just instantly blew up, right? So, but I don't want people to think it's only about that. I also had confidence. I also had energy now. I didn't have to take naps. It turns out I wasn't a lazy piece of shit. I just needed my hormones to be in the right area.
Right.
Brain fog, my cognition was better. Everything was better. Now, let me tell you how my life changed in terms of the way people treat me, right? Simply because, I do look.
You look more intimidating.
Now you're fucking massive. And like, they're like, no.
I'm not going to fuck with that, dude.
But I don't want to say it was just intimidation, right? There's a subtle cue that people get from
aura.
Males, right? People who look the alpha part. And that doesn't have to be huge muscles. It's confidence, pheromones that come from testosterone, and just even the slight look of, okay, that person could be a protector, could be an alpha, right?
Yeah.
Even the slight look of that makes people treat you better. So suddenly, like I said, prior to this, I was I let people walk on me. I was not very confident. I got taken advantage of a lot. Now suddenly people want to be my friend. they automatically respect me. And again, just the confidence. So now, like, I walk into a bar now and every head turns.
A lot less people calling you lazy piece of shit all day.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, that number's dropped precipitously. I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah, you're right. That doesn't happen anymore.
No, it does not.
But and I walk through the bar and the crowd would part in front of me as I walk through. I would accidentally bump into somebody and they would turn to me kind of angry and then look at me and then go, "Oh, I'm sorry," just apologize to me. Like everything just changed. Like it wasn't like that before. And like another way it changes. So when I was in college during the summers, I was a plumber, right? And I hated it. I hated plumbing. It wasn't going to be a plumber. It was just my summer job. I couldn't stand it. And I was terrible at it. My boss suddenly gave me a raise for no better reason than you're just
somebody's got to lift the cast iron pipe, and it's not going to be
me. Those iron bathtubs are heavy as hell, man.
Yeah. I'm not doing that. You know, it's funny though. Leading up to my black belt test for like 2 years before I got a black belt, my sensei was always subtly pounding this in, and we found out later what he was doing. Right? He said, things like a belt's just to hold up your pants, right? Like that. Like being a black belt's less about the color of the belt, more about the presence you bring to a situation. And we found out later that the date of our black belt test was kind of around when he saw that piece change from, there's this ego led, I'm a brown belt, like purple belt, like I'm like, ooh, look, I'm going up the belts too. I just am living this, right? And it was, to your point, it wasn't a physical tip. It was a psychological, spiritual, aura based thing.
Yeah. Right. Like just, the exuding confidence and just, and being the part instead of playing a part. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're top of the world. What's next?
So and so that I've always been a science guy. So I happened to be in college for biochemistry at the time. Right. And I had to learn what is going on here. Why do I feel so good? And most of all, why is nobody talking about this? So I just started, I did two things. I tailored my degree to the study of hormones. I took all of the classes that would have to do with hormones. And I started reading voraciously. I just couldn't put the information down. Most kids my age would come home and play video games. I couldn't wait to come home from school and play, and research more about all these steroids and all these hormones. And I couldn't put it down. So pretty soon I got pretty good at understanding it. And other people came to me and saw how it changed my life. So I'd be like, "Hey, I've seen you make this dramatic change. Like, what did you do?" I said, "Okay, let me show you." So I started helping other people. And as I helped other people, as I helped other people, they would show me the admiration, appreciation, gratitude, right? And that drives a dose response: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. So I started, passion is just another word for a sustained dopamine release, right? So I became passionate about this. Right.
I love that. I love that phrase, man. We joke sometimes that we're going to start T-shirts with like every guest catchphrase. I think that might be yours.
Yeah.
Passion is just a sustained dopamine release. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, man. I didn't mean to cut you off there. No, please keep going.
No, that's okay. There's a lot of words that just mean dopamine: motivation, ambition. They're all just words for dopamine, right? Dopamine. Right? So I start, it drove a passion. So I started really helping people. I really appreciated making people, dramatically improving people's lives. So, over time, I started to nail down supply chains. I started to get really good at not only understanding how to help people with these, but also how to procure these things.
And this is all under that, hey, this is pretty illegal at this point, right? Yeah.
This was through the black market. I was aware of that. I knew what I was doing. At the time, it was small time, so it was just my local city. I wasn't making much money, and so over time, I started helping people. It was taking a lot of time, so I was like, I have to monetize this. At very first, I was just getting people stuff and for the cost, right? And I was like, I have to monetize this. So I started to monetize it. I still, again, my local city was small, so I didn't have a lot of clients, but I started to get a name. Everybody knew, if you want to look and feel your best, go to this guy. And at the time too, I was only a lab tech. I only made $270 a week.
Jeez.
I didn't make much. I actually couldn't support myself. Luckily, I lived in my grandmother's house, so otherwise I wouldn't have been able to afford rent. Right? So So one day, one of my clients came to me and said, "Hey, look, there's this website, the Source Forum website, where they do what you do. They sell the stuff like you do, but you have much more knowledge than these guys do, and your prices are better. I think you should go check it out. I think you could do well on there." So naturally, I went home and I looked up this website, and I started doing some research. I said, "Oh my God, I can do this. Like, I could undercut everybody here and still make a decent buck, and I could help a lot more people." So it was an arduous process, but eventually, like, I had to build a website. I had no idea how to do that. I had to get people to help me, and it was actually an arduous process. But eventually, I became labeled as an official source on this website, which turned out to be the largest source forum in the world. Right. So, and when I first became a source on here, though, I'm just one of like 1,000 guys. Right. Like, there's nothing, and everybody, like, in the world of steroids, if you knew the world of steroids, like, there's a lot of scams. There's a lot of fake stuff that was sold, and it's actually, there's not fakes anymore because the real stuff is so easy to get.
Yeah.
It's right. Like the kids these days don't know how hard it was for us in the early 2000s and late 90s.
I remember being at the gym once and somebody asking me, "Hey man, do you know where I can get some blue tops?" And I'm like, "I have no idea what the fuck you're saying to me." And then somebody goes, "Oh, that's like one brand from China or something like that." I'm like, why me? Like, do I look like I'm on steroids?
Yeah.
But
I took it as a compliment.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. It was really hard to get, though. So consequently, the fake market was pretty big too. Like, so there was a lot of fakes around, and so people would actually, like, bodybuilders or that community would get vehement with somebody that they didn't know trying to sell them something, even if you had really good stuff. Yeah. You don't try to sell me something having no name, right? And it was like this. Everybody would just shit on you. So it's like, that's what happened to me at first. Like, people laughed at me, and people were angry that I would even try to sell. So I, through a few pretty simple, but over time, through a few pretty simple business practices, like, I had some major differentiators, right? So again, when I started this, I just got a duffel bag full of steroids and my laptop, and that's all I had. And I was hoping that I could make $200 or $300 extra a week, right? Because then I would be like comfortable. I'd be more comfortable. I was hoping for that. I thought that was overzealous. I just didn't think, how am I going to make myself in this market? Like, nobody knows who I am. Like, how, maybe I'll somehow get a couple extra guys, right? And maybe I can make, I just thought $200 or $300 extra a week was probably too much, right? So again, through some pretty simple business practices, within 6 months of me starting this thing, it just absolutely blew up. It blew up like more than I could ever have imagined or dreamed. Within 6 months, I was making $21,000 a week.
Holy crap! Wow.
Just a few months later, 30,000, then 50,000, then $100,000 a week. There was a few weeks where I made $500,000. This was years into it, but
that's crazy. I can't believe it got that big.
It just absolutely blew up.
And how much of this was internet sale? Like, almost, I mean, you're not in your little community anymore.
I actually stopped in my community, because if you think about it, the local game is what's going to get me in trouble.
Sure.
The anonymous, like, internet game, like,
especially in the early days of the internet, right? You could hide pretty easily. The
whole web was the dark web.
So I actually quit the local game. I was like, because that was what's going to get me in trouble. Like, if somebody blabs to the cops and then the cops come to check something out, like, then the whole
they're just waiting for you.
Yeah. So as I built this, though, like, I built all that into it. So I built a compartmentalized operation. Like, obviously I couldn't handle it myself. Like, so let me tell you, about just a few months in, right? Like, I suddenly had $100,000 cash at my house, and I never dreamed I would hold that much money. And I got scared. I was terrified. Like, I'm not a man prone to panic attacks, but if I ever had one, it was at that time. And I was just like, I'm going to get caught. Like, this got way too big, way out of hand. I have to quit. So I remember I was on my bed, I had my head in my hands, and I'm just like, okay, I made a plan to quit. Like, I'm going to fill all the orders of people who paid, because I'm not about screwing people. I'm never going to do that. And then, but I'll tell everybody else that I can't take any more orders. Sorry, this is done. I'm done with this. And then I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And then, like, all these memes from social media started going by my head. Remember all those memes about take risks, the benefits of just taking chances and taking risks, and you have to take risks in order. Success is built on people taking risks. Like all these like memes started going through my head, and I'm like, well, God, this is a big risk, and it sure is paying off. And then I started to think about, because I used to get emails every single day, and I still do, right? About people thanking me. They're thanking me for making them a better husband or wife to their spouse, a better father or mother to their children, and a better supporter of their family. Because that's what getting your hormones right does. It gives you the energy, the sense of well-being, and the ambition, motivation to go do better for yourself, right? So, and I had people thank me all the time for that. And that's part of what drives the passion, right? It's like, I'm really helping people here. And when I thought about going to, at that time, I probably had like 1,000 clients. I thought I have to go to these 1,000 people and tell them, sorry, I can't help you dramatically improve your quality of life anymore just because I'm having a little anxiety right now. Right? I just can't do that. So I remember I was sitting on my bed, I had my head in my hands, and I just said, fuck this. I can do this. So I just put my head down and drove forward, and I made it bigger, way bigger. So the way I made it bigger is compartmentalizing, right? I actually had to get help. I was doing it by myself at that point. I got shippers. Eventually we manufactured our own products from raw materials. I had chemists, I had shippers, and I had them all in different states. Because like I said, the local game was getting me. If we have it all in one spot and it gets busted, then
you're all going down. Yeah.
If I spread it throughout the United States, and if it's compartmentalized, which means no shipper knows anybody else in the operation, no chemist knows anybody else in the operation. If one part gets busted, then the whole operation.
They can't even snitch. Yeah,
they can't snitch because they don't know. So that was the idea, right? And I had 5 shippers throughout the country, 5 chemists throughout the country, and an army of money collectors. Because believe it or not, collecting millions of dollars a year anonymously is very difficult.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's very difficult.
One syllable.
It was a big problem. It was a big problem that almost didn't allow me to expand. I had to figure it out. Right. And so I had an army of money collectors, and nobody knew each other. Right. So
did you do a master class for the local drug dealers who could get your business plan?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds a little bit like Scarface.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Put this box of money on top of the other box of money. Yeah. Nope, that's already filled. Yeah.
Did you ever see Bad Boys 2? Remember when they had all that money and the rats were eating?
Yeah.
And it was like, so I said that when I couldn't collect them any more money, like my problem was I was getting too much money and I couldn't collect it all. And I was like, this is what he said when the rats were eating money. He goes, this is a stupid fucking problem to have, but it is a problem.
But it is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was it. It's a stupid problem to have. I have so much money coming, I can't collect it all. But I did figure it out. So
well, you kind of figured it out. Then not so much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So then one day that's when I lived on Edgewater. I lived in a penthouse overlooking Manhattan, and beautiful floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Manhattan. I had a brand new F-Type Jaguar. Beautiful apartment, beautiful. Everything was great. And I get this pound at the door at 5 a.m. And I just got angry. And I'm like, who the fuck is knocking on my door at 5 a.m.? I'm going to go. I throw my shirt on, and my girlfriend had gotten up and she walked out. My dogs are barking. And then she went out there first, and I threw some clothes on. I'm like, is this real? Is really somebody knocking on the door? I hear it again. I go out there. She comes back from the door. She's like, they're blocking the people. I can't see anything. And I just got mad. I'm like, I'm going to go tell this person, you don't pound on my door at 5 a.m. So I go there and I throw the door open, and it's like 15 DEA agents with guns.
Oh my God.
And
I'm probably not going to tell them anything right now.
Yeah. So the one guy, the head he was a postal inspector, but he is a federal employee, and he does have a lot of pull. And he was the one who led the investigation from the post office,
the post office took you down, man.
Well, it was a postal inspector, but he got so I got taken down in what was called Operation Cyber Juice, right? So it was
a big sting.
Yeah. It was a big sting, and that was nationwide. But he went and took it to Operation Cyber Juice. Then they took on the case, and he kind of he led that investigation.
So it wasn't just you that got swept up in this. There was other people.
Yeah, there was like 17 different online.
Wow.
Groups.
Okay.
And I was the largest one.
Right. Did you guys all know each other or no?
No, I take that back. We didn't know each other personally, but we saw each other on the forums, right? Because we were all
right.
We were all selling on the same like bodybuilding forums,
right?
So I knew who they were. I mean, just from their business, but we didn't know each other personally.
Yeah, you weren't Christmas card friends or anything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So he comes, he puts it like they have guns pointed at my head, and like I'm non-violent, I don't have any guns. So I was like, okay, all right, relax. So he like put his hand on the door, and he like told me he's been tracking this case from the beginning or whatever. He had a hard on for me. And then he kind of put his hand on the door, was like, okay. And he kind of put his hand up to everybody behind him, let him know that there's no guns, and I was just like, okay, you got me. And they came in, they put my girlfriend and I in cuffs, sat us down. They're like, do you know why we're here? And I was like, I have no idea why you're here. I knew why they were there.
Yeah, of course you did. Yeah. Let's find out what you know first, and then I'll talk to you.
Yeah. Why don't you tell me why you're
here? Yeah.
I'll tell you if I know anything.
I know, but just so I know, you know. Why don't you just,
So, I mean, so I ended up going, I got sentenced to 78 months in prison, which is 6.5 years.
Wow.
While I was in prison, I used my time wisely. Right? So I
sold more steroids.
Yeah.
I did. Well, in essence, I started to were
you there 6.5 years or no?
No, I did a little over 4 years. I did a program to get me some time off, and then a good time I got a little over 4 years.
Got it. Okay. Wow, it's still a long time for selling.
That is a long time.
Steroids.
Yeah. But I used it wisely, right? So while I was in there, I read voraciously. I read about business. And then I got a mentor while I was in there, really successful businessman. And we sat down and we wrote a business plan on how to do this. It was kind of funny because I was, the only thing you can do with a felony is run your own business, right? Like you're not going to go out
no one's hiring you. Yeah.
Hamstring you. I mean, it's part of the problem, right? It's like, why is the rate of recidivism so high? Well, because you hamstring everybody the reason you go to prison is because you didn't know what else to do, right? You've made these decisions based on your economic position. So for me, I was educated, right? But I have an addiction past. I had 3 DWIs. I had a felony. I couldn't get a job. Like I took biochemistry, studied biochemistry in college, but I couldn't get a job. I took this low-level lab tech job in a hospital. Like I said, I was making $270 a week. Like I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So if I was in medical school going to become like a physician, then no, I wouldn't have done what I did because I have a promising future. But I had nothing to lose. Right. So if you got nothing to lose, like you do these things, you have to support yourself. You have to, and like I said, this thing just blew up. It took off. And I had, again, what else was I going to do? So like part of it is, granted, I came out with the same scenario and I did turn it into something, but I learned a lot, right? Like we're all products of our failures, right? I had a failure and I figured it out, right? And I'm a better man today because of all my failures in the past. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But like people who haven't learned all that yet, like if you have nothing to lose, you got nothing else to do. Like, so a lot of these people who are in prison are because they didn't know what else to do, right? And there's a lot of nonviolent drug dealers in prison, people who don't need to be in prison. Especially, do you know how I did? While I was in there, I actually became what's called the jailhouse lawyer, because like while I was in there, I do understand human behavior. So I was like, I have to be valuable to these people to be respected. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not about just being able to beat people up. It's like be valuable to people, and then you'll be respected. So I said, what can I do? I started. My own case had some problems in it. I actually got sentenced to 2.5 years more than I should have. So I started studying the law in relation to my case. And when I did that, I kind of understood the law. And so I started studying more and helping other people around me. Well, pretty soon, like I have the whole prison knows that I'm the guy to come to if you need legal help, which there's a lot of people who need legal help there. So I was writing all kinds of habeas corpus petitions and motions to the court for people.
So you were balls deep. You're in.
Yeah. Well, but it also like everybody liked me, right? And I was really well respected because I helped a lot of people. But so I did habeas corpus petitions for freaking guys, nonviolent, no guns, no nothing, marijuana. These guys were being put in prison for 20, 22 years, 25 years for freaking marijuana, which is now going to soon be legal in every state.
Everywhere, yeah.
Do you know how many millions of people we put in prison for marijuana? Nonviolent.
And I'm curious what happens to all those. How long does it take to vacate all that? It's
probably, it's free.
Yeah. Well, the private prison system will not let them go easily either, because that's just well, slavery is what it is. Yeah. But it's free labor. They make money off of that.
It's freaking crazy.
It is bananas.
So the prisons are now. What I won't say is that there are some people who need to be in prison. There's a certain subset of the population that needs to be in prison.
Politicians.
Right?
Yeah.
Prosecutors.
Yes.
Prosecuting lawyers.
Yeah. It's a perfect answer. Yeah.
But there is a large subset of the population that does not need to be there. And like nonviolent drug dealers are one of them, especially marijuana dealers. Like, that's ridiculous. You put them in.
Ridiculous.
So I was doing these motions for these guys. I'm going over the case. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You got 22 years for marijuana? Like, this is crazy. Nuts. And right while we're in prison,
what do you have to do to get 22 years for weed?
It's legal.
Be black.
Yeah,
that's essentially it, man.
I mean, 22 years for, unless you're like fucking moving like a fishing boat of weed through New York Harbor. Like, how the fuck do you get 22 years?
It was a Scheduled 1 controlled substance, which means it's the highest level.
Yeah.
Controlled
Craziness.
Because of the stigma, not any real science or proof that it was actually dangerous. It was stigma. Made it a Schedule 1 controlled substance, indicating that there's no research value, there's no medical value, so you couldn't get it for research or anything. It's crazy what happened with marijuana. Like, it's nuts. Like
that is crazy.
It just shows you like what human behavior, like what some of these stigmas and indoctrination can do, like what it can make you believe. It's crazy.
You know, it's funny. I'm the douchebag who holds people to this stuff though quite often, and it's everyone's kind of laughing now, but like people that I know were against weed or against LSD or anything like that, and I'm like, look, there's soccer moms microdosing on LSD now. You want to tell me that you still going to hold on to this bullshit?
Like they just found it too. Like they don't have some post back in their, social media feed about how evil drugs are or something.
Well, no. So when I go to these people who I know I had a conversation 15 years ago, Ryan, I own headshop.com since 2002. So we've been in this weed adjacent world since the early 2000s. And part of that was Operation Pipe Dream. You're talking about cyber juice. Well, Pipe Dream was like the bong equivalent of that. And we watched like Tommy Chong's kid Paris it was supposed to be Paris going to jail. They took Tommy in a deal, and that made their case national headlines, and everybody was, giving each other high fives and shit. But I'm like, do you know how fucking stupid this entire thing is? How much money did we spend on this as taxpayers? It's fucking idiotic.
Oh, it's not. It's about control. It was never about making a safer population.
Yeah. Do you know what's the control of drugs cost? Because I did research on this because I was in the nonviolent drug, felon status, and like $100 billion a year we spend on enforcement a year.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's crazy.
But that's why I'm saying I just read yesterday that Trump's trying to, I guess, justify his third term as president by doing what I think he should have done. He would have won the election over Biden, I think, if he would have done this back then. And we've been saying this forever, but he's trying to declassify.
But even Biden was saying he was going to do that. There's like way too much money for somebody to let it just go.
This has gotten to the point of pre-executive order kind of thing. So it seems to be the furthest we've gotten on this topic in a while. And it's obviously just to set up either him trying to vie for a third go, or whoever the Republican successor would be. But I mean, look, it's like a day late and $100 billion short. Like it fucking doesn't make $1 trillion. It makes no fucking sense. Nancy Reagan and her fucking stupid DARE program. Like, I mean, honestly, we've been making fun of that thing, I think, since
she's sucking cock in hell.
Yeah, she fucking is
sorry.
Yeah, but that
we've heard rumors
based on dumb shit. So anyway, yeah. So when I talk to people who I know in 2005 are telling me that, like, oh, you'll never do anything because it's drugs and it's bad and you're fucking supporting the decline of civilization. I'm like, yeah, how's that look now, dude? Honestly, everything I was doing in back then, they're just fucking dumped gasoline on that fire, and that's what we're doing now. You know, it's like full throttle, like, and I'm like, yeah, no, you're a dick. You know,
even like MDMA, right? So now MDMA, they finally opened it up for research, and it's very, very promising for people with PTSD. Like,
totally.
So how many years did we set back, possibly helping all these PTSD war victims?
Yeah.
And like, how many years do we set that back just because of a stigma? Because you think that MDA is this evil drug. It's like very beneficial. Right?
And you know what? I've gotten in some terse conversations with law enforcement when I say, you know, how many people have we lost with a Beretta in their mouth because these stupid fucking rules are blocking them from getting treatment that makes sense? This whole show we make fun of, we say we should rename it N of One because, like, every story for every person is going to be totally different. And like, if you have a block or, you know, or a threat of incarceration, because that you're not going to try stuff out. So I guess Beretta is the way to go. Like, and they're like, that's overly reductive. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, every 22 seconds, a serviceman takes his own life, his or her own life.
Yeah. That's not overly reductive. It's if you don't think that way, it's underly reductive.
No, that was my point. It's like, no, this is not overly reductive. Yeah. It's in fact not putting nearly enough attention on this.
Yeah,
thing. I mean,
absolutely.
But that's changed a lot now. I mean, maybe it's just the echo chamber.
It's changing. It's still there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, the progress is not going to hit for a while.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not entirely true. I can't throw a rock without finding 8 influencers microdosing on something.
Yeah, but what I think what it and I think Ryan's whole thing here is like, look how full circle it's come, where now testosterone. Look, man, we had Lynn Dudley on the show. I got to give her a call because my numbers were a little low.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, like what's she going to do? She's going to write me a fucking script. My insurance is going to cover it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't have to go meet somebody behind the gym and hope they're cool, you know. Like, I don't.
Your current guest can help you too.
You what?
Your current guest can help you too.
I appreciate that, Ryan.
Well, we're definitely going to talk to you after this, Ryan. We'll fill you in on what we got going on over here. But I definitely think there's another conversation for us to have sure. After that. But so you get out of prison.
I wrote this business plan, right, and with my mentor, and so I get out of business. I got out of prison a little bit before my mentor, and so my job was to come out and just start executing this plan. And then when he got out, he would come join me. So that's what we've done. I started to execute the plan. We built hormonesforme.com, which is one of the largest nationwide HRT clinics in the country, the fastest growing and one of the largest, soon to be pushing for being the largest. We also have Dope Martian, which we have a Dope Martian podcast. And
I love everything about that name, by the way.
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons for that name, and a lot of people don't get it. A lot of people hate it at first, but once you kind of learn
when your mentor got out of prison, did you fuck with him and be like, I can't hire ex-cons? Because
there's no way I can hire you.
Sorry, buddy. I'd love to hire you, but this prison thing is a non-starter for me.
We do have one employee who knows my story. Like, that's, you know, like a lot of employees, like, you know, people have seen me on YouTube and
sure,
you know, on podcasts. So, like, you know, people ask to come work for us because they appreciate what we're doing. And I had one employee who knows my story, and when we went to start to hire him, he goes, I just want to tell you, I have this felony. I hope, you know, years ago, I hope it's not a problem. I'm like, you're a felon? I'm like, oh, I can't do this.
I can't do this. Yeah.
I did mess with him a little bit.
Was it a non-violent crime, or was he like, no, I raped a lot of kids?
No.
Right. You're like, man, there's like 30 banks in Southwest Arizona that all went down.
I may have started several cults, which all ended in group suicide.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like one of those things. You're like, you're a felon. Shit, I wish you would have told me that. I'd have hired you earlier.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
So you guys really you're growing that fast, huh? That's great. Like that's
and how long you been at that, Ryan? How long has Hormones for Me been around?
I got out of prison in 2022.
So pretty recently, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty new. I think we've been doing it for like 3 years now. I think. Yeah, because I got out in 2022, and I started it like 9 months later, and now up to now, so it's been about 3 years.
So obviously, you know, given your record and the I guess the scrutiny you're under as a result of that, this is obviously a very different business model than your original one. Like
this becomes a story of redemption, right? So it's all about like, all right. So let me start here. What does my story do for me that makes me a differentiator in the space? There's a few things, but the number one thing is that. So during this time that I ran this operation, right, I successfully got over 20,000 people through the use of hormones. I have aggregated more empirical data than just about anybody else in the world. So certainly more than any physician, any endocrinologist, any urologist, right? Because it's stigmatized, demonized. They don't learn about it. They don't practice. They don't prescribe testosterone. They don't know how to do it, right? So I have aggregated more empirical data than just about anybody else in the world. I have seen this on a vast level. I'm very good at it. I've just seen it so much. I've seen all the derivatives used. I know how to use them. I've taken people's for the last 20 years I've been doing this, right? I've looked at people's blood work. I understand what everything should look like. I know how to dial people in and make them feel and look their best, right? And I know how to do it with long-term health and safety. So that's the goal now. It becomes a story of redemption. I'm about legally, legitimately helping people, again, look and feel their best, dramatically improve their quality of life, with long-term health and safety in mind.
That's fantastic. And you know, it's funny, man. You know, I'll tell you just a quick personal thing about why I think people respond so well to this is like, I had regular doctors for years and I got into a huge fight with my doctor because he wouldn't give me a vitamin D test. I was like in my 30s, like late 30s.
It's one more box to check on the LabCorp form.
And I found out that a private test was $25. Yeah. I was like, this isn't even a fucking big deal. Yeah. He wouldn't do it because he said the insurance company would flag it as suspicious because I was not in a risk category for it. Right. And I said, well, I live in Baltimore and it's in the Northeast and it's the winter time and I'm trying paleo with my wife. So there's no cheese or dairy. There's very little by way of sunlight. And I'm just curious. Well, push comes to shove. He finally reluctantly says, yeah, do it. My D comes back at 18. And I said, 18 seems low.
Yeah.
And he goes, I would never have guessed this. And I got so
80% of the fucking population is vitamin D deficient. Never guessed it.
Right. But that was like 12 years ago, give or take.
Yeah.
Like I'm 49 now. So like back then it was a little different, I guess. But here's what happened. I had a full on fucking rage fit in his office, like being dude, my health is fucking bad here on this metric. And that's not even get into fucking cholesterol and whatever other bullshit. Like if you're this fucking ignorant about something as innocuous as vitamin D, what else are you stupid about?
Exactly.
Like, I don't fucking know. Now, everything you've told me doesn't make sense. Like I have to double check everything.
Yeah.
So fast forward, I get a concierge doc now, and that's much better. I got a phone book size fucking lab panel back. It's like everything. But even that, we had a guest on talking about my lipo-A numbers, and he was like, hey, you need to have these 2 other tests. And then when I went back to him, he goes, well, that's too far down the rabbit hole for me even. Let me get back to you. So I'm like, so even if you've got ninja details, sussing the validity of those details out is super challenging, even if you think you're talking to like, you know, your doctor, somebody who you would expect and have some degree of proficiency in this. But then even when you start getting more nuanced and niche information, now you got 2 experts that don't agree. So now you start getting like real. So I think anybody who can like show empirical data and paint a compelling story with it, I think automatically wins because it's fucking hard, especially with shit like this.
Yeah. So like the author Taleb that wrote Black Swan, right? He like one of the things I loved about his book is he wrote that the true progress is made with the tinkers. He called them the tinkers. This is the people in the field. The people in the field actually doing. The people who write the books from the people in the field who are actually the tinkers who are doing the work. And I totally agree with you, right? It's like if you don't get any experience or any knowledge like you do when you're actually
hands-on.
Yeah. Doing this work. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I would see that sort of, and you know what else it is? You talked about aura kind of things earlier in the show, but like when you talk to somebody like you about that and somebody starts saying, well, here's my this and that numbers, you instantly probably have like a
map in your head. Yeah.
Like react, like your body responds to it. Like people probably pick up on that pretty quickly, I would imagine.
Yeah. That's correct. I've just seen this so much. Like I know exactly. I mean, I can talk. I can talk to people and know if your hormones are out of whack. I don't even need the numbers. Because think about it. There's a few things. All right, so let me go over what I've learned. So what I've learned, again, I did come from the bodybuilding community, right? And what the first thing I learned is that the bodybuilding community is light years ahead of the medical community in understanding mechanism.
No argument there.
Yeah, look at the peptide world now. All bodybuilders.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. And so when I came into the medical community, I was shocked, absolutely shocked at the ignorance and the lack of understanding. Like even if you look at something as simple as the Endocrine Society's protocols for testosterone deficiency, it's one shot of injection of testosterone cypionate either once a month or sometimes they'll let you do once every 2 weeks. The half-life of testosterone cypionate is about 2 to 4 days. It's different for everybody, and that's the major thing that you learn is everybody's different. All right, so we'll say on average 2 to 4 days. If you give a shot once a month, the person's gonna peak in about 3 days, and then be back down to the
and then crash
6 days, and then you're gonna do the rest of the month with lower testosterone than you started with, feeling worse than what you started.
So like 3/4 of the month is shitty, and 1 week you're fucking correct. Superman.
And you're also going to say it's not working, right? They fed you a protocol where it's not working.
So here we go. So here's another reason, another of the myriad of reasons that providers don't use it is because they're bad at it and they get bad results. So they say, well, this testosterone stuff doesn't even work anyways. And it is nuanced. It's complex. There's a nuance. It's nuanced. And the major thing you learn is that it's different for everybody. So I could give the same exact protocol to 1,000 different people, men and women, and I'm going to get 1,000 different results, right? So it's not about putting everybody in a box and putting everybody on a cookie cutter solution. It's about developing a methodology to figure out what yields the best results for each individual, right? We do that by having a base protocol, doing something that makes scientific sense, having a base protocol, seeing how you react, and it's a game of adjustments. It's making those adjustments based on how you're reacting to really dial you in, right?
I'm telling you right now, 9 out of 10 people I've talked to about this that are medical or practitioners, the first thing they say is be careful with testosterone. It can give you cancer if you do it wrong. It's literally the knee-jerk
and
reflex.
Once again, it was that black box label on everything.
It's been that's been debunked. Like testosterone does not increase the risk of prostate.
There are actually plenty of studies to show that it contributes to longevity.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That AI Chinese guy that does Tai Chi is living proof.
There's a study that came out in 2022. In the industry we call it the Finnish study. It was done on. It was one of the largest studies done. It was done on 70,000 Finnish men.
Holy shit!
And over an 18-year period. So this was the longest study.
Oh my god!
And the end result of this study was that people on TRT had lower all-cause mortality than people who did not take TRT. If you are on TRT, you will live longer. You're healthier and you live longer. It's the bottom line, and we see that throughout studies. I've seen testosterone get people off of cholesterol medications, blood pressure medications.
A1C will fall.
Absolutely. It's like one of the main things. It reverses diabetes. It reverses metabolic disorder. I've seen it get people off of SSRIs, depression medications, because it's dopaminergic and it gives you a good sense of well-being, makes you ambitious, gives you energy. I've seen it get people off of pain medications because it's systemically anti-inflammatory and reduces joint pains.
Is it? You know what? I never knew
that. And it's in
that.
females too. Females get these benefits as well, or maybe not all of them, but some of them.
One of the biggest bouts of misinformation is that testosterone is a male hormone and estrogen is a female hormone. It's ridiculous. They're human living organism hormones. Females absolutely unequivocally need testosterone. It's vital. It's actually their most dominant sex steroid. They have 10 times more, or around 10 times more testosterone than they have estrogen in them.
Oh, interesting.
The resolution of the numbers, the units are just different, right? So when people say, oh, well, my estradiol is 100, my testosterone's only 20. Well, it's the units. It's actually 10 times more testosterone, right?
Oh, wow.
But and females have less of it, right? So you have different dosing protocols with them, but testosterone is absolutely vital to females. All of our female HRT patients do testosterone. It's just the same exact benefits it has for men. I mean, like I said, there's a different protocol for females, but it's vital for females.
So you do a lot of work. I mean, we've talked a lot about testosterone here, a little less about estrogen, but I mean, are these the only two that you kind of focus on, or when you do HRT, is it sort of like a more, there's a cocktail?
It's a symphony, man. It's a symphony.
Yeah. It is. And just like Tom said, it's not about one hormone. It's about a harmonious balance of all the hormones, right? So it depends on where the female is. If we take a female on and she's having all these symptoms, it depends on where she is. Like, is she premenopausal, where are her levels? Is she postmenopausal, perimenopausal? And so it just depends on where they are to what, so there's plenty of premenopausal women that have testosterone, that have low testosterone. So we'll treat them with just testosterone because their estradiol and progesterone seem fine. And then that dramatically improves their quality of life. That's all they need. Menopausal women are going to need all three. They need testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. The levels they need are just different for everybody.
Right? I see.
So let me explain something else. So when I came into the medical community, not only was I shocked at the ignorance and lack of understanding, lack of knowledge, but then you start to notice these part of where the problems are, right? Another one of the main problems is the ranges, right? Nobody understands where those ranges are. They take them like those are the real. Those are real, and that's where you have to be, right? The ranges are completely arbitrary, rooted in nothing real. There was no science done for the testosterone ranges for male and female. And this is actually all the ranges, but let's just take the testosterone, the hormone ranges. There was no science done to show, yes, this is where all the biochemical reactions are happening properly, and anything and in this range, everybody's fine, and anything outside this range is dangerous. That's not where they come from. All it is an aggregation of data of 4 different studies, and they use statistical equations to marry all of these, to resolve all of these levels together. They took an average, and then they use a statistical equation to come out with standard deviations beyond that. They do the 2.5 percentile, which if you know anything about statistics, means that there's outliers in this 2.5 percentile. And then they do the 97.5% percentile, right? And it's just those numbers using statistical equations, no science. And that's where the ranges come from. So
I didn't realize that's where they came from.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
The bottom of the range is people with you still have metabolic disorder. It's low testosterone. It's medical. You actually will have problems if you stay at the bottom, at the lower quartile of the range. So what we see from other data, from other studies, is that people, and believe me, this is a generalization. Everybody's different, and there's so many different factors. But as a generalization, I'll say people 600 or below tend to have metabolic disorder, and lower than that, you have more problems, right? But 600 below, you're not optimal. Your body is having some symptoms and some effects from low testosterone. We find that the most consistent benefits come from testosterone levels that exceed the normal range, right? So we're looking at 1,000 to 1,500 is where most people do their benefits. Again, everybody's different. Some people with really high SHBG need a 2,000 testosterone level, or sometimes more. Some people actually do just feel better at 800 or 900 testosterone, right? But one of the biggest problems is that we have people coming to us. Well, I went to my doctor, my testosterone level 360 or 400, and my doctor said I was fine. And they just like you said with the vitamin D, right? They just take that with their doctor
face value. Yeah.
Right.
So my doctor says I'm good. So I don't know why I'm tired and why I have to take a nap every day and why I have no energy to play with my kids.
But you'd see a number of 350 and be like, holy fuck, this is intervention time.
Unequivocally at 350, there's probably not a scenario where you wouldn't need testosterone. even 400.
Right.
Even 450.
Awesome.
So this is a bigger, one of the bigger problems is we have to fix the education. We have to fix the ranges because it just confuses the hell out of people. Like,
sure.
They don't understand where they came from. They don't understand that that's completely arbitrary.
Those FDA ranges fuck everybody up too. Like that, like the doctor that I was telling you about, he's like, well, 18's low, 25, 30 is better. And I was like, now, years later, I'm like, well, I'm an athlete. I'm this, that, and the other. Like I'm shooting for numbers in the 80s, 90s. Right.
Yeah.
Like, and he's, even my doctor now is like, yeah, that's, given your lifestyle, that's definitely better. I'd be curious to see what happens if I went back to my old doctor and be like, all right, I got a 93 right now in vitamin D. Like, am I like, I don't know. I don't know if he's changed his tune because everybody has on that, but like those ranges, like to your point is where I was going with this, is they're to stay alive, not to be optimized, right? They're not.
Well, and we could say that the bottom of the range for testosterone, you're prone to all the disorders that come from that. So metabolic
so that's
disorder,
not even staying alive necessarily.
Cardiovascular disease, right? Like there's a lot of problems that come from low hormones, and it's the same with estrogen. It's the same with it's also the same for even like, so some of the blood ranges were not created for people on TRT. So the next problem I get is people take TRT and they're like, oh my god, my estrogen's high. And part of the problem is that ignorance breeds fear, right? So if a doctor sees a testosterone level at 1,000 and it's above that range and it has that H next to it, high, then they say, oh my gosh, like your heart's going to explode or you're just going to have a stroke. I don't know, but we can't keep it there, right? Without having any understanding about what that actually means and that it's not dangerous and that that it's actually beneficial at that level, right? And the same with the estrogen. If testosterone converts to estradiol, think about this. We evolved to convert testosterone to estradiol at a certain rate for a reason, right? They should be in a certain ratio together. Again, it's about a harmonious balance. Testosterone high, estrogen should be high. Everybody on TRT is going to have high testosterone and high estradiol. That's okay. They should be. That's where they should be, right? So another big lesson I learned is this. Every single risk factor for testosterone has been debunked. Every single one of them. The black box warning for cardiovascular disease has been taken off, right? The prostate cancer has been debunked. That was never a black box warning because it never was a thing. Blood clots, that was never a black box warning because it was never a thing, right? That's been debunked as well. There is no risk factors left for testosterone replacement therapy. There is no danger for taking testosterone in therapeutic doses. None whatsoever. Only benefits. And that's what's just not what's not said enough.
Ryan, we're sold, man. We're sold.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, yeah. Listen, I'm
Matt's gonna give me a call. Hey, can you come over and inject me?
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's the other, that's, not, we don't have to go down this rabbit hole, but that's the fun part about nowadays too. Even peptides now, they're having patches, there's nasal sprays.
There's ways to do this, yeah.
Like you don't even need to be like old school, like here's a box full of syringes and, like, and again, I don't know what your products
that's my favorite way of doing it.
Yeah,
I know. But not all of us are like that, Tom.
Injections
I told my
are
parents, you
systemic.
never
It's
have
the
to
best
worry
way to
about me
take it,
being
but
a heroin addict,
there are
because there's
other
no
methods.
fucking way I'm putting a needle in my
Yeah, that one always seemed wrong to me.
Yeah, I'm like, I cannot do this ever. So I love the internet. Brief little technical snafu there, but we're back.
It was a segue. It was a segue.
Yeah. Well, speaking of segues, Ryan, man, listen, honestly, I think aside from the fact that we're guys and, guys are always interested in shit that, stereotypically makes them more guy, like testosterone. You're like, oh, yeah. Aside from that, dude, this is like stuff that everyone I know, like I said, I'm 49. You know what every woman I know is doing right now? Perimenopause, right? Like every single one. HRT, everything is like everybody and their brother and sister in this case are talking about HRT. So this is like a very topical thing, I think, nationwide, and it's been cool to like kind of learn more about it from you, man.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, thanks for listening, and I appreciate your open attitude.
No, man, you got a great story, and clearly you know so much more than the average MD about this stuff. So it's great talking to you.
And even funnier still, you're our second ex-con who's got this fucking awesome business afterwards. So like,
maybe I should go to prison and do better.
Going, oh man, like what's happening? What did I do wrong? I'm like, yeah. So We just had Chad on the other day. He's got this amazing story. He was running drug money out of Hawaii, you know, bringing all kinds of stuff in, and like now he's got this crazy, you know, rehabilitation type thing that's basically based
like a physical therapy that he learned in college. Yeah, present. Sorry.
Yeah. Same exact thing in the sense that he's like, you got to be doing this. Like, I can put my hands on you and know exactly what the problem is. Like, you know, and you know, you don't need a college degree to do that.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe there's a second question is, where do we send
what's the
people?
Commercial for Ryan Root here? Let's talk about all the stuff. The AI needs to scoop it all up. So let it all fly.
Oh, yeah. So like, as far as where we can be found, and
your business, like,
wherever you want people to look for you, talk about whatever, man.
For hormone replacement therapy or testosterone replacement therapy, you can go to hormonesforme.com. And you know, that's the hormone replacement therapy arm. And we also have on YouTube, we're at Hormones for Me. So I have an educational platform across social media. Like, one of the important things is to normalize the discussion about this, right? And start getting the education out there. So I have an educational platform across social media. YouTube, we have a decent sized channel. We're opening another podcast called Dope Martian. And Dope Martian will be, again, so we're going to have genetic testing. So not only does a differentiator come from my background, you know, and my knowledge and ability to really help dial people in, but our other differentiator is my business partner. He's just an absolute business genius, and he's built 2 separate multi-billion-dollar companies. So he's a genius. And so our next differentiator is when he gets in and builds a business, he builds it better than everybody else. So now we have SG Analytics, the largest AI building platform company in the world. They're going to build an AI system for us for our chief wellness officer. Dr. Arvind Chakravarthy is our chief wellness officer. And him and I are going to train this AI machine to take genetics. We have just genetic testing that will wrap that with your blood work, and then come out with this algorithm of actionable information that you can take from that. The problem with the current genetic testing is that you'll take these genetic tests and it just says, oh, maybe you have the MTHR gene, the motherfucker gene. And then it just kind of says, you know, that may mean this or this, and it doesn't really give you actionable data, right? Or maybe you have low conversion from T4 to T3, and it doesn't really tell you, okay, well, for that you'll probably need some T3 to actually take thyroid medication, right? It doesn't say things like that. It doesn't give you actionable data. But what we're going to do is train this to have actionable data for every genetic predisposition. And now this is going to be the most complex and fully wrapped with blood work, you know, experience. So we can have we'll take in the most data and then spit out information from that. And then
that sounds pretty awesome.
With that comes dialed in optimization products that will have something for everything, you know, everybody and every person. Well, you know, different supplements and services, right? And then the next thing too is, like, as we've established, there's a barrier to entry for this, because hormone optimization or hormone replacement therapy is so complex. It is difficult. It is complex. So, and we're one of the fewer companies that really understand how to do it. So now we've been able to take a lot of other companies who have like telemedicine platforms, and they do, like, some of them do just the GLP-1s, or some med spas, right? They do all these treatments, like, you know, they might do acupuncture or even Botox or some different things, but they don't have anybody that understands hormones enough to do it. So we can provide white label services for them as well, right?
So it sounds like off air we probably have about 3 or 4 conversations we need to have with you.
Yeah. But for the on-air stuff, this is great, and honestly, it's awesome to have a guy like you in our sort of corral of friends, because, you know, there's no shortage of people having this conversation. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and another thing that we've learned too is that hormone deficiency is much more pervasive than people think, and it actually it's a worldwide problem. And as we indicated, the environmental toxins, and like we also indicated, like, you can be optimized even if your level is 500, and most people say, oh, that's good, you don't need it. Well, you'll feel better at 1,000. right? So it's like there's
right. Even if you are optimized, right?
Yeah. There's no reason. I mean, like I said, we've debunked every single risk factor. If you want to take that, take that next step, then there's no reason why you shouldn't. Let's stop stigmatizing this. Like, there's so many people who say, oh, well, we have to, you should try everything else first. You should try all these other things, which, by the way, usually don't work. One of the worst things is people say, oh, you have to lose weight because obese people will have low testosterone. Well, what we find out is that's actually not true. It's actually the chicken before the egg. Most people become obese. There's a few reasons, but one of them is hormone deficiency. You become obese because your hormones are low, and lifestyle factors and diet obviously play a part. But what we find is when people just lose weight, when we tell people to just stop being fat and that will fix your testosterone, the telling people to stop being fat has failed since the beginning of obesity, right? So how do you just go say, hey, before we give you testosterone, just stop being fat first, and then your testosterone should raise? Well, a couple things there. It's hard to just stop being fat because you're in metabolic disorder, and your body won't. And when your testosterone is low, you're in a catabolic state. You actually burn your own body's muscle mass as a primary source of energy before fat stores. So you're just, and that's where the term skinny fat comes from. It's another problem, the GLP-1s, right? We're giving people GLP-1s. We're just putting a Band-Aid over the problem. We're fixing their appetite, but they're still in a catabolic state. They still have metabolic disorder. They're going to lose a bunch of fat and muscle mass. And then as soon as they stop taking it, they're just going to put their weight back on, right? But if we fix the root of the problem, hormone deficiency, lifestyle, diet, and use GLP-1s to get you down to that ideal body weight, then you can come off the GLP-1 and not have to stay on it, right? So so what we find is giving obese or overweight people testosterone first fixing the metabolic disorder, the underlying metabolic disorder, then taking means to help them lose weight. They lose weight faster, and then they can keep the weight off.
And then it's a permanent.
Yeah, that
fix.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, we're going to send everybody we know your way. Thank you again. And man, I love the conversations when I walk away with like 30 new notes I got to go look up. It's awesome. So, all right, guys, enjoy the weekend.
Well, thank you very much.
Take care.
Take care, Ryan. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Be subversive, irreverent.
Health is wealth, but you knew that.
Everybody knows that.
But so is following us on social media at Irreverent Health. And check out our website for more exclusive content at irreverenthealth.com.
Oh, I like this.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Irreverent Health.